Hello and welcome back to another episode of our Fylde Road coaching podcast. Today we were going to be talking about entertainment within our field of sports coaching. But first of all, before we started, we had a slight break over Christmas. So Lewis, how was your break back in the port?
Yeah. My break was quiet, mate. I think like most people's break. I think it's not much really going on, is there? Especially New Year.
No,
When that's a big change. What about you? Anything? How was your
no,
New?
exactly the same. I just worked through it and missing the sport, missing the football.
Oh, definitely. I think it's a good job it's on TV because I do miss coaching and playing. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So today we're going to be talking about like the entertainment within our like how important it is within our sports coaching. So would you like to just start out?
Yeah. So it's basically I've just thought about this for a while, and I thought about because we really in our way we coach, I'd say we are like not the entertainers, but we try and make our sport entertaining for the players, don't we really? So do you think having fun when we deliver sessions is like the most frequent part why people take part?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon our philosophy is heavily rotated around entertainment because of the student union aspect. People are, they're not really a professional or elite level. It's kind of at the recreational level. So we want to be able to just have that entertainment in place to make them want to come back week in, week out, stuff like that. Yeah, but it's definitely something we've definitely thought about, and it's definitely something we need to develop as our season. Well, when the season continues,
Yeah.
so something to improve in our philosophy, definitely.
This is also obviously research obviously shows that like an entertained and engaged athlete leads to them their intrinsic motivation like being much higher, obviously, because they're doing it for not like external rewards, they're doing it for themselves really. So that's a kind of a good thing, I think, in like the individualistic sense of it. Like we're focusing on the individual needs as well if you take that aspect out of it, because you're entertaining that individual, even though you might be entertained as like a team, but really you're just entertaining that individual for how long? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like how I said about them intrinsic their motivation, because as a student you can correlate it to benefiting your mental well-being and reducing stress, especially in this difficult time. And it's just definitely it's something we need. Yes, something we have definitely in our coaching. But like let's say, how would we how would we use and how would we focus entertainment within our coaching sessions? Do you reckon? How would we develop? How would we coach that?
I think especially with what we do as it is student union, we don't need to act as their parents or like a serious coach as a professional level. Like they are still technically friends who we
Yeah,
are coaching really. So I think we just got to make the sessions fun, enjoyable, and I think especially engagement, is very important. I think because these people, the same age bracket as us, and we
yeah,
need to make sure that the engagement levels are high. And I think when the engagement levels are high in these sessions and the sessions are fun, that can lead commitment is high because
yeah.
people will want to come back, and then you get your trust of your athletes as well who will want to keep coming back.
Definitely, especially when you're not going out much. You still got the football team in there. You want to be going. You want to have some sort of like regular, like sustained interaction with the team, and you can
Yeah.
definitely, yeah. I
Would
feel
you?
like what
Sorry, go on.
I feel like within drills specifically, maybe we don't do so much like blocked practice or
Mm,
like random. You just basically just when we go to training, we just have games and we just play games. All like I think I found a piece of research is like teaching games for understanding, something like
understanding,
that.
yeah.
So basically, we just teach, trying to develop what we need. What we try to focus our sessions, but teach it through games. You know what I mean? Like we know we'll
Yeah.
focus. Let's say like turning with the ball. We use games as a way to do that because, like we said, we want to entertain. We don't want to do like small little drills. We want to be playing games because you're giving up their time as a university student. Your time's valuable, and you're coming down to the football sessions on on Monday nights, and you want to be having fun. You don't want to be going up and just doing drills, do you? You want to
Yeah,
be having fun with your mates.
I totally agree. I think that's what I like about what we do is that it's not something which is like really heavily drilled. Like we don't do really heavily drilled sessions. Obviously, when we were doing it, it was much more relaxed and fun, and I think that's where the entertainment side come with it. And I think I would say as coaches, we are a lot more in that entertainment aspect than very much like a drill sergeant kind of thing in that aspect. Do you think, here's a question for you, do you think that sport, when organised, becomes more enjoyable for participants?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon it motivates. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by organization? Do you mean like a structured league or like a
No,
something like
I
that?
mean like as in like say the sessions or like the team or like the way we're this certain time like a schedule like you set your own schedule are
Yeah,
we organized around that kind of thing or like certain things we do or like set like this we'll have today Tuesday we'll have training or Saturday we'll have a match and that like that organization do you think that makes it more enjoyable as people have like that set schedule in the mind?
yeah, definitely. It's definitely it is more enjoyable. It is, especially at the recreational level. Like you're still going out, you're still feeling that sort of like belonging with that team, and it's 100%. So yeah, I like that question a lot because we're talking about our main focus is entertainment. So what's the difference between going to being a structured team to like just playing going to the park and playing with your mates?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a good
I,
question.
I
Yeah,
think when you bring that structure to it, it gives as well. It doesn't just it's obviously it's people's choice if they want to play sport, but when they're part of that team and they're part of that culture, it makes them kind of like, oh well, I have to go because I'm committed and I've been engaged and I'm enjoying it. So people
yeah.
become committed and you build a team and that's where you get that team cohesion from. I
Yeah,
think
you don't want to let each other down, stuff like that.
exactly. Do you think in the student union league that the coach and player relationship is like really important? Do you think like it has to be more about the entertainment side than the more of the serious side?
Yeah, definitely, because it's not a serious league. Sorry, not a serious league at the end of the day. It's recreational.
Yeah,
If like we had this in the past, we had a manager who was took it way too serious, and it did affect the engagement levels. It did affect like the like sometimes especially if you're giving up your Wednesdays and you just sit on the bench for the entire game because it
yeah,
might be a close game. It's just not well for the student mentally. Like he's giving up time out of his busy schedule to come down and play, and that's what's happening at it. And he's just not getting the game time and stuff like that. It's just stuff we as coaches have understood from the beginning, and we
definitely.
okay, we're not going to be doing this. We're not. This is not the way we want to be running this football team. And I feel like at the moment we've done it at a very good level of succeed in that.
I think I'd say it's quite a big strength of ours is that the fact of we haven't taken ourselves too seriously and we know the standard and like we've not tried to go overboard. Like obviously there's coaches in that league who do go overboard and you can tell by the way they set up and
Yeah,
the way they act with the team. And I think sometimes you don't need it, be professional. You know what I mean? Have respect and stuff, but don't take. I feel like people take themselves too seriously a lot in that sometimes in that league,
and
and
you
I
can
think that's a
tell,
weakness of some coaches.
and we've had this at the moment. We've noticed that the team goes. We know the teams that have that sort of manager and to player relationship, and we know that we've had many times players from that team wanting to come and join our team just because they like the
Yeah,
environment, like what they're saying, and that happens all the time. And the players that do that, not even bad players, they're doing it just because
yeah.
relationship, the managers ruin it for them.
It's more enjoyable. It's like you said then about like you brought up a really good point of saying like people are taking out the time of the day of like the schedule of like they could be doing uni work or busy with something else or they could be even working and they're like swapping shifts or not doing the uni work so they can come down and play football because that's something which for them is like intrinsically rewarding. Like they're doing it
Yeah,
because they
they
don't
want.
need they're not getting a medal at the end. They're doing it because they love it. They love doing it. And
Yeah,
I think that's the best part about it.
they look forward to it for the whole week. So like, why wouldn't you, as a coach, why wouldn't you play them? Like they're showing they're committed. They come week in week out. Why shouldn't you not?
Yeah,
It's their entertainment at the moment. Like they might like it's especially at the moment. You know, the whole world's a bit messed up, but like, as football is a good escape route, especially for many people. And we're fortunate to be in a position where we can offer it. And I do like. Uh, I don't really understand how coaches can just like not see that from this point of view. They just take
yeah.
so much because fair enough, we all want to win at the end of the day. Like we're not in it. Like we're not our
We're
main
not in
goal.
it to lose. Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean? We want to win,
it's
but
like
but it's also like this stuff, the steps you got to take just to make it a bit more enjoyable for everyone
yeah,
and entertaining,
definitely.
of course.
I totally agree with that. It's like research which I've recently got. It stated that sporting climate of like entertainment can like be beneficial for that coach athlete relationship. So if you got like your commitment, you having your commit these buzzwords like commitment, trust, and building that bond with the athlete to the coach, and this is something that's going to obviously be better for our team, like the team cohesion and the climate for the team. So like I think if we can keep it as entertaining as possible
Yeah,
but professional, then I think we're halfway there to having like a really great team and a great group of lads, really.
yeah, that's the main thing. Just having that group like cohesion, just having that. We have a good set of lads at the moment, so we just need to keep it entertaining as the season goes on. It's just at the moment how like I don't know. You might not know the answer, but there's a suggestion like, what could we do virtually to entertain the players?
I think I think virtually it is difficult at the moment because we do have obviously a group chat where we do speak it, but it's not about really anything serious. It's about obviously like stuff to do with like football or teams or just a bit of banter and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I think that's something which is healthy to have because you've got that group chat where you can speak to your players and stuff like that. But I has been thinking the past couple of weeks that we should try and get players on to just like speak to them about things. Like we obviously got Cam on and stuff like that, which was I thought that was one of our best podcasts that we did when we had Cam on.
Yeah. Because
Um,
they do watch this podcast and they do like it, so it's yeah, getting them on. They will be keen to do that definitely.
yeah, I think we should mention that. I think that would be a really good idea. But I think virtually we could maybe have Zoom meetings and even like things like quizzes to just bring that social interaction again with the
Yeah.
players. And it's difficult at a time because of obviously of COVID and stuff that we're not getting that. We're not be able to go out and play football and stuff like that. It is difficult for people to like not just sit in the rooms and not
Yeah.
fester away. It's like it's not ideal. So trying to get everyone out or maybe like a group call would be something that I think would be a really good thing to do.
We don't want to, yeah, as well. We don't want them. Like, the last thing we want them to feel is detached from the team. So we have to, as coaches, it's responsible just to keep that engagement flowing. And to be honest, with the Premier League still going on, that's just continuous. Like, you can always banter about the Premier League because there's always something football
Mm.
related we can talk in the group chat. So it's just something like that. Little things like that we just need to do throughout this difficult time, just to keep them engaged, keep them entertained. So when it comes back, they'll all be buzzing. As soon as football comes back, we know this group of lads we have. As soon as football comes back, they're gonna be buzzing for it.
Yeah, I know we've gone through a lot of strengths there of what how well I think we've produced our entertainment. Do you think there's any weaknesses to being too laid back or trying to be like too entertaining to players? And I'd say probably take yourself out like the student union kind of shoes in a way of if we took ourselves a bit serious, would we get different results maybe in games or what would you say?
I feel like, yeah, I feel like it
I feel
depends.
like I haven't worded that question quite well, to be fair. I
I feel
think
like I kind of understand where you're coming from. To be honest, I feel like maybe if it depends what sort of group of lads you have. If you have a good team, it might not be that much of an issue. If you're playing like a good team in a bad league. If you are focusing on other points, like if you're like a elite club, for example, and you're a bit more relaxed, you might have other like other people within that academy, so like your analysts might come in. That
mm,
sort of work might benefit your team, but yeah, and also if you're not getting results at an academy and you're laid back, it's not going to look good for yourself.
yeah,
It's not.
yeah, definitely. I agree. I think that's like a really good point to say. That it's like you do have to create the balance of being obviously be entertaining and professional, but you have to create the balance of not sometimes not taking it too far, because that can then players can take it, kind of take that advantage of
Yeah,
thinking, oh well,
just
I
to
can
do
kind
it.
of take the mickey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a really good point there. But like that's something that the like student union league we kind of like not really at a Premier League club, I mean at an elite level like academy for example, like that's something you need to like consider like but in a recreational like in our student union level, sorry. Uh forgot what I was gonna say. We encourage them sort of big characters within the
Yeah,
dressing room. We encourage it, you know what I mean? So like fair enough at elite level, you don't really you're not really into it. You don't
you know your jokers and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it's a really good point you've raised there. To be honest, Will, I think that's like I think off kind of like that ideology we've had about entertainment is that yeah we're not taking ourselves too seriously, but there is a line in the sand.
Yeah,
You say that, yeah.
yeah, definitely. I
Yeah,
definitely
I think that's all it's what it's about though. I think it's just as long as we can develop the relationship between the coach and the players, I think that's that's totally fine. I think we'll be fine with the entertainment, and obviously that brings with the entertainment of the athlete, it brings the engagement, the commitment, the trust. You know, what as I've mentioned before, I think that's the as well for now anyway. Well, we have to try and maybe do something virtually, like you just mentioned, which I think is a really good idea.
definitely definitely. Uh, so yeah, so going forward, definitely virtual. Hopefully, football will recontinue soon. We don't know.
Hopefully, hopefully.
I don't think it's not looking good at the moment, but you can always, knock on wood, have your fingers crossed, all of that. You never
Yeah,
know.
I
Uh,
hope so. Anyway,
yeah. So any last comments from yourself, Lewis?
no, I think we've gone through quite a few areas there of like the strengths and the weaknesses of entertainment kind of thing, and I think like we both understand like how we should act in a
Definitely.
student union, and like obviously sometimes not pushing it too far kind of thing. I think we've covered quite a lot of points there.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, my man. So thank you again for listening or watching to another episode of the Fylde Road podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on this journey of our coaching progression. Thank you guys, and see you next time.
See you later.